How you doing, everyone, and welcome to this quick video. It's an unplanned video, but something I thought I would like to do, and it's talk about the best cameras that I've used in the last 12 months.
CINE.
So the footage I'm going to show you isn't, best shots or anything like that. It's just footage that I quickly took out of certain folders. I didn't want to scan through, thousands and thousands of clips just to show you, my favorite cameras. So I just grabbed a few from professional work and from passion projects and stuff like that, music videos, TV stuff, all that kind of stuff. And I just want to talk about, the best cameras which I've used in the last 12 months. And when I was thinking about this and going through certain folders, I've realized that there's only two brands that are in this category. Without further ado, let's just go through these random clips. As I said, nothing special, nothing really graded, great or whatever, but let's just go through the clips.
Take 5.
Okay, so that was the clips from my favorite cameras, and yeah, there was only like I said, two brands on there. So starting at number 5, we've got the Sony FX6. Now, a lot of people would expect this camera to probably be like the number 1 because it's the most professional camera in this lineup. And yeah, if you're a professional, your only income is from shooting video and corporate gigs and stuff like that, films and stuff, then yeah, the FX6 is absolutely amazing. Love this camera when I had it. And the image quality that came out of it was always superb. There was so many features which I can talk about which are fantastic. The only reason why I decided to give it up, as you know, we started CINE. I wasn't really going to shoot any commercial or client projects anymore, so in that case, it was time for me to let the FX6 go. Amazing camera on a sort of higher end professional level, but when you want something that you can mix and match, throw on a gimbal, throw in a bag and shoot B-roll when you're abroad and stuff like that, it's not really the camera for that. But I haven't really got any negatives to say about it apart from the lack of the 3.5 audio input. Number 4 is the Blackmagic Pocket Cinema Camera 4K. Now, I've talked about this camera a lot in the past and why it's such a good buy even at today's standards. But the reason why this one made the cut at number 4 is because this camera is easy to get a good image from. It's very easy. I think this is when Blackmagic peaked in terms of cameras in the P4K and the original P6K. I think that they was doing really good stuff then, and the P4K was just such a good bang for buck camera that you could do a lot of work with, and it was amazing. What I liked about the P4K is that the low light performance at ISO 1250, I think it's even better than what you even get on the newer full frame cameras now. I think that the noise handling is much better. I think it cleans up better in post. I don't see any purple smearing, any streaks, any problems if you do manage to underexpose a shot accidentally, or there's some problem where you've got to shoot in low light. I just think that the P4K and then the P6K, the original P6K, I think that they clean up really nice. With the newer ones, I'm not so sure. Then in third place is the Sony FX3. The Sony FX3 is the workhorse, man. Like, this camera can do anything: movies, documentaries, films, music videos, vlogging, YouTube. It is just good at every single thing. The only reason why it doesn't make number 1 spot for me is because it's still lacking a few features. I mean, things like, shutter angle and all that kind of stuff, and even variable frame rates, that kind of thing should have been there from day one. I know they've done a few updates recently. I haven't even updated. I'm on like a really old firmware because it works for me. And I'm a bit frightened, to be honest. I see a lot of people, talking about the, the battery indicator, if you haven't got original Sony batteries, and even people's cameras getting bricked, from the update, blowing up the Wi-Fi chip and all that kind of stuff. For me, I'm using the camera right now. It works great for everything I do. So I'm going to leave it in that old firmware and just enjoy it as it is. Number 2 is the Blackmagic Micro Cinema Camera G1. Now, I've spoken a lot about the G1. I've done a lot with that camera in the time that I've had it. I used to have one before, but I sold it and then I've bought a few now. I think we've bought 4 or 5 this year to do various projects with. And I love the image quality that comes out of this camera. I don't care if it's Super 16, small sensor, all that kind of stuff. For me, it's the most filmic, beautiful camera with great options that anyone can use if you're a filmmaker. I wouldn't say it's good for making YouTube videos and stuff, although you could. But yeah, I would say it's more of a content creation in terms of you're filming the content, film or music video, or even it could do anything, fashion up to corporate, in my opinion. If you get everything right in the shot, and then you can take it into grading and get a fantastic grade, a beautiful camera to use. And then finally, the number 1 spot goes to the Sony FX3. And I know a lot of you are thinking, is this guy crazy? The FX3. Listen, let me tell you, the FX3 is absolutely amazing. And the reason why I'm giving it number 1 spot is because, one, I absolutely love that APS-C size sensor. When you expose that camera correctly in low light, you just get the most amazing type of grain that looks almost like film. It is so beautiful. Now, I'm not going to go through loads of samples and that kind of stuff. I've got loads of stuff on this channel which I've shot. If you type in, CINE FX3, there's loads of stuff that you can see. I'm just talking about what I liked about it, and yeah, the film grain kind of images, what that gave you was amazing. Using it for corporate, for television, for Sky, it always just looks sharp and clean. I didn't have to spend a fortune on lenses. I ran with the Sigmas, the 16mm f1.4 and the 35mm f1.4. Always did a bang up job, outstanding. There's the IBIS, which I think worked really well. I love the fact that you can use full frame lenses, APS-C lenses, and even if you've got some lenses that were made for Super 16, you can use the clear image zoom and it still works. You can get rid of most of the vignetting. There was just so much in that camera that I loved, and yes, I sold it. I did sell both of my FX30s and kept the FX3, and I think most of you would agree that that was a wise choice, to sell the FX30 and keep the FX3 if you're not going to be doing, commercial work and you want something that's going to fit every single scenario, well, most scenarios. But I think now the studio is getting a bit bigger and I'm needing more cameras. The FX30, regardless of if they bring out a version 2 or whatever, will probably be another good addition to have. So yeah, that was my top 5 cameras, and everyone's view is subjective. A lot of people probably say, no, you're crazy, there's way better cameras, where's LUMIX and all that kind of stuff. I'm just talking about personally for me what I liked about these cameras, using them in loads of different scenarios, situations. So yeah, that was it. Quick video. I hope you enjoyed it. And in the next video, we're going to be looking at this, the DJI Neo, and yeah, we're going to be putting it up against the Hover Air X1. I know Hover Air have got a new drone that's just come out, the X1 Pro and the Pro Max, which does 4K and 8K. But yeah, we're going to talk about this DJI. We've got to talk about this.